Happy Equinox. So I've never actually done a 10-minute video on here, and I figured now would be a good time. I'm going to do an autumn equinox reading, and I'm going to use a new deck that I got from a new friend at Awake Festival, and I'm very excited about it. It will be an autumn equinox reading because that's the seasonal alignment that I have spent my life soaking in, so I'm much more familiar with that. But I do acknowledge that's only the northern hemisphere. So let's see what we got going on here. I'm not actually sure. The deck is separated. Is it supposed to be separated? Let's find out. Are they different? Or is it just different sides? The wild wood. Okay, they seem like they're already mixed because this was a used deck, which I don't have any issue with. And I think more people should sell used ones and more shops should be okay with it. They say people don't like them, but not my people. I'm just going to mix these, even though it's two sides, and we're just going to hope for the best. We'll see what happens. Yeah, oh, and I'm also transitioning, finally, to switching decks with signs instead of switching decks with the month. So, now that we're bumping over into Libra, let's do it. Let's do a new deck. If I'm going to shortchange a sign, I might as well shortchange my own. That way, if anyone complains, I can be like, I am a Virgo. Virgos like to correct each other. It's not really our love language, but I guess it's part of the mating dance. All right. Oh, 1 sec. Okay, and we're back. So let's start with what the theme of the equinox will be for everybody. Got a twofer, which is perfect for Libra. Let's weigh our options here. So we have the 10 of Arrows, reversed instruction, and we have the Ace of Stones, the foundation of life. Okay, I do need to know, are arrows wands or are they swords? It's going to change the interpretation. Or you know what, let's wing it. Let's just pretend. Let's pretend that I know, and we're going to do a cold, intuitive interpretation. Because with this instructional energy, this is that reminder to come back into educating yourself, to not forget the basics, to not assume that you already know, and to recognize the necessity of recalibration. And then we have over here the Ace of Stones. And this is the tangible opportunity you cannot ignore. Like, where is the basis? And I love that they have spirals on this. It's one of my favorite of the ancient symbols. It shows up in so many cultures, and it's just exquisite because that is life. Life is this spiral that we think we hit the same place that we were in before, but it's never actually the same, including with astrology. Like, the same transits will not repeat exactly for like 25,000 years, something like that. Every natal chart, every moment is that unique. Like, all of the different placements are that unique. We'll have some similar themes and cycles, like, you know, perfection years repeat every 12 years, and Saturn return roughly every 30. We get our progressed moon at like 28, 29. Like, there's these loops that do happen, but they're one little piece looping, and when you really look around, you're somewhere else. So paying attention to that foundation and what you still have to learn and what you've forgotten from what you've already learned, that's the main theme of this equinox. Now, if we go deeper, what's going to help us right now? What's going to help us to utilize that theme? And we have the 9 of Bows, respect. Look at this guy. He's intense. Like, there is this huge tenacity in this. And having self-respect. Like, we're going to do just really basic reversal interpretation. Introverted meaning, how do you respect yourself in your actions? How do you tolerate, like, how you're treating yourself? And if you can't tolerate it anymore, or shouldn't tolerate it, how are you going to change how you're treating yourself? And how are you going to change how you ask others to treat you and how you let others treat you? So moving from there, let's jump into what's going to hinder. Okay, so we have the 7 of Stone and the 4 of Arrows. This is like both of these. We have the impatience and waiting for something to change, waiting for something to heal, waiting for something to grow. And then we have what happens when we are just literally too spent to continue. We're down but not out, but it feels like we're out. And making sure that you're prioritizing your own healing and rest is how you're going to be able to have the energy to really start to recalibrate your life. Because there is a recalibration that's needed. You can't just keep going as you have been. And I'm going to pause just for a second because I feel like this is moving and I don't want to give anyone motion sickness. Hopefully that's more stable. Can you tell what a professional I am when it comes to technology? Just seamless. Put so much effort into editing too. All right. So what are we releasing right now? And it literally gets stuck in my ring. Lovely. All right. So we have the 7 of Arrows. Insecurity reversed. So really letting go of not just insecurity, but the old stuff, the stagnant stuff. Like, look how dramatic. Look how dramatic she is. I mean, she's full of arrows, so it's a fair level of drama, but it's still pretty dramatic. It's giving Ophelia energy. And with that, releasing, like, the wounds that we're keeping. Like, she's got her arm up. You know, she's clutching herself, but she's not pulling out any of the arrows. She's not trying to save herself. So release that self-victimization. Release the stuff where you feel insecure, but you already have the evidence to disprove the insecurity if you just listen, but you're holding on to it because it's easier to be insecure than it is to be confident. And sometimes we just have to, like, be egotistical and show up and be loud to convince ourselves that we're allowed to be, that we're allowed to keep going. So release it, let it fall away. I know easier said than done, but I believe in you. You know why? Because you can do it. You have to just make that choice to do it. And with that, I probably should have done this at the beginning, but again, I'm just a consummate professional. I want all of you to know that you can reach out for help. Like, whether it's to me, your random strange TikTok tarot reader, or to the people in your life, like, reach out when you need something. Going through these transitions isn't something you have to do alone. And as far as who I am, by the way, I'm L. Alexandra, and I do tarot and astrology predominantly, as well as other modalities that are mostly for my clients and in person. I comment on everything from language, because in a previous, phase of my life, I was a communication coach, editor, and writer. And I still use all of those skills, and I'm still very wordy and talk a lot, which is why it's shocking I'm only just now doing a 10-minute video. But I operate predominantly out of Colorado and also take remote sessions and offer a lot of free cards of the day. So speaking of, for anyone who comments and has made it this far, I will give you a free card of the day reading for your Equinox to figure out what do you need specifically. Because like these general collective readings are great, and I put out the intention, that they'll find who they need to find, but you're still a unique individual. So if you'd like it, give me a comment and ask for a card, and I will be happy to oblige. We'll see how this does. Again, never done 10 minutes. Apologies for the jankiness, and happy Equinox.